So as we know, the workshop deadline is over and has been over since March 13th, 2026. And while you see a bunch of videos of creators making the coolest workshop submissions, the problem is that none of those skins are going to make it in the game. And that's because if you actually want to know what Valve's going to come out with, if you actually want to make a good prediction, we have to stop thinking like players and start thinking like Valve. And that means understanding and coming to terms with how Valve actually builds collections and armory collections within their game. You see, if you're Valve, you have to be a little bit intentional with how you build these collections. Because it's not going to be something like a greatest hits album. It's an economy. It has a job and a role to play within the ecosystem. Blues generally exist to be terrible guns, right? Intentionally shitty. They wear poorly. They're on guns like the Negev, the P2000, the R8. Like, they're meant to be terrible. Guns nobody uses that are just good enough to not be fillers maybe, but you know, no one's actually chasing them and no one's gonna stop redeeming once they get the fucking blue R8 revolver, right? If your blues are too good, right, you're gonna get the blues, you're gonna stop redeeming. You're not gonna do any trade-ups because the blues are better than the purples. So your blues need to be shitty. Without bad blues, your collection gets clogged and the entire foundation of your collection is fucked. Purples are kind of along the same line, but they're a little bit more tricky. Valve will put one decent skin on a decent gun here, maybe an M4 or FAMAS, maybe an AK, but the design is going to be more restrained and not pushing the boundaries enough for it to warrant you stop redeeming the collection. You're going to look at it, you're going to think, all right, that's cool, that's nice, but once you see the pinks, you're going to go, oh, but I want that one instead. And that's the purples, that's their role within the ecosystem. Now, pinks are where the real designs are going to start to manifest, right? USPs, Glocks, M4s, AKs, AWPs, etc. The art here is going to be pretty good because at this point, it's rare enough in which that they can start to make the guns look actually intentionally good because you're going to have to chase them a little bit, right? A 1 in 32 chance, that's 120 stars, that's like 5 armory passes. They're fine if they give you 1 pink out of 5 armory passes. And it's no joke because the art has to justify spending 5 armory passes. You don't want to make the pinks too shitty now. And reds build upon that point. Reds are the crown jewel. There's one of them in each armory collection so far, so we can expect it to stay the same this time. It's extremely rare, and it's the loadout defining skin that's going to make people actually chase, do trade-ups, etc. So, I'm going to show you my workshop predictions today, and I'm not going to be showing you the prettiest skins in the workshop. I'm going to show you the skins that make the most economic sense for Valve to add to their game and kind of make a collection for the Arabesque and Spy Tech collections respectively. We're going to start off first with the Arabesque collection. Now, whether this winds up being Anubis or it winds up being Mirage or Dust 2, whatever it may be, the Arabesque collection has the deepest pool in terms of artwork and talent coming from it. The Spy Tech collection does not have the same level of expertise that the Arabesque collection has, at least in my opinion. So let's get into it without further ado. First off, we're going to start off here with the sawed-off sandstone garden. Now, this is a blueprint. This is A1 blue skin, right? It doesn't look terrible. I mean, I like the design on it, but it is on a sawed-off. It has a little bit of like a dusty overtone, which is not what you want from like a clean red, for example. This is a perfect example of a blue. These colors itself kind of fit the Dust 2 vibe, right? A lot of the roofs within the game itself have these blue and white architecture. So definitely has the full entire Arabesque vibe. This is exactly what you want. You look at it, you open it, you go, wow, that's nice. Then after 10 seconds, you realize you open a sawed off and then you redeem again. Another perfect example of a blue is the AUG Silent Vines. It's very subtle. It's got the Arabesque design and Arabesque vibe to it. Pattern based, so maybe you get a good one that demands a little bit of overpay, but most of the time, it's not gonna get you any overpay. It's pretty, it's quiet, but it's forgettable. And that's what Valve wants in a blue. Another perfect blue right here is the P90 Old Tiling, right? A really nice like mosaic type of design on the skin. But again, it's an underused gun, right? You couldn't have this in pink because it would drive down redemptions. Having this in blue gives it a nice Arabesque feel. It gives the collection some weight to it, right? If you use the P90, but no one uses the fucking P90, so you're gonna have to put it in blue, unfortunately. I do like this pattern a lot though. I think it would look nice on a lot of different skins. The last one, I think this is like a nice blue. This could even be a purple maybe, the Mac 10 Flying Carpet. Now, if the Arabesque collection was a Mirage collection and not Anubis, I think this would be absolutely perfect and would probably be a purple in that case. I think it would benefit from being more of a pattern-based skin, but it's not. It's just a static flying carpet design, right? Looks great. It's not super flashy, right? Captures the Arabesque vibe perfectly. but wouldn't draw eyes away from the purples, pinks, and reds of the collection. Then we have the R8 Revolver Sultan's Requiem. Now, this skin is very clean. The design is absolutely beautiful on this skin, which makes me think it would be a purple or even a pink, but since it's on an R8 Revolver, and thus not going to be redeemed if it was a pink, like not being chased, I'm going to have to put it in purple. The design definitely punches above its weight class, but the gun is going to keep it weighed down a little bit here. This is a great way to make the collection look extremely nice and extremely deep without actually, you know, fucking up the ROI because it's on an R8. Honestly, if the R8 didn't become a little bit even more popular because of the update a couple of weeks ago, I would see it being a blue, but since it got that little increase in attention, I think you could put it in the purple, increase redemptions for a little bit just based on the R8 itself, but the design is absolutely beautiful. Great job by the author here. Another purple, the USP Relic, right? This is going to be the one that you look at and like, damn, this collection is really nice because there's a purple USP, right? I think there are better USPs within the workshop. This one's nice, don't get me wrong, but I think this one fits the vibe of a purple, right? It's not flashy enough for a pink, I don't think, in my opinion, but the red and gold look really great. The ornate design on the sides of the gun look fantastic, and it matches a lot of the new gloves. As we spoke about in the DE news, we got Occult Red Racer. See the red and yellow one? I don't know. Oh, the one with the duck on it, the crane one. Matches the Nouveau Rouge, matches the Art Prince. This is a fucking USP skin I want in the game. Now we have some pinks, right? First one, the AK-47 Fatal Flourish. Now, honestly, these are some colors that we've never seen on an AK before, at least all together, right? I think the only other skin that looks something like this is like the Elite Museo in terms of how many colors are on the skin itself. And I think this would be a good addition because it's kind of like a budget Wild Lotus, right? And it wouldn't directly fuck with the Wild Lotus's demand, right? That's a massive compliment as well. I don't mean any disrespect by that. That's a perfect gun to have in the game, a budget Wild Lotus. And in the same sense as the Wild Lotus, the colorway on the Fatal Flourish here is very unique and I think doesn't exist on a lot of AKs and thus would have a very nice niche carved out for it if Valve decides to add this one into the game. I don't think it has that X factor to be a red per se, but I definitely think it would be a high tier pink and would definitely increase the redemptions of this collection. Another pink here, the Op Jin's Ward. This one's very vibrant and a super sick skin in its own right, but it's almost got that Op Krakow level of vibrance and energy where you're just maybe not gonna want to use a gun like this, right? It's very like for a specific type of person or a specific type of loadout. It's almost eye-catching to the point of being like divisive almost like the Op Krakow, so I would put it in pink, I wouldn't put it in red. I think it's too risky to put it in red here, but I definitely think it's super sick and sick enough to the point where your pink value would be super high here in this collection. No one would be mad that they got the Op, but it would be a very good sell. The red needs to be something more universally appealing or more traditionally Arabesque, I think, so that's why I would leave it out here. One last pink idea is the M4A4 a lot. Now, in terms of the layout of the skin itself, it kind of draws parallels to like the M4 Poseidon or the M4 Emperor, which are very popular skins. I think some of the best M4 skins in the game. So I don't think using these skins as a blueprint is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a tried and true method that's going to work if Valve does decide to add this into the game. Now, Beige and Jade is a colorway you don't see in this game whatsoever, and I don't think it exists on the M4A4. So I think having a skin fills that gap perfectly. It's elegant. It really kind of fits every single loadout. So it's kind of timeless in that sense. I think it's a very, very strong pink. Not good enough to be a red though. I don't think it has that universal appeal that a red should have. I think the red should be universally liked. And I think it should be traditionally Arabesque, which is why I chose the Glock 18 carved Arabesque. Right, blue and white main colors, right? Fits the vibe perfectly. As we said, if you go on Dust 2, a lot of the roofs and a lot of the architecture kind of fits this vibe of blue and white, classical Arab colors, but they're not exclusive to Arab colors, right? Chinese use this, Greeks use this, Italians use it, Romans, whatever. All of this shit looks fantastic and it fits a lot of different vibes, universally applicable. But also very much Arabesque because it has the patterns and sort of artwork of traditional Arabesque walls, architecture, etc. The Glock is a gun you could put in a red tier like the USP because it's a starting pistol. Everyone uses it, everyone loves it. It's pretty much the only two pistols I would put in a red tier, you know, without having to risk your whole collection being thrown under the bus. And those are my predictions for the Arabesque collection. The next collection, Spy Tech. Now, I don't like the Spy and Tech collection personally as much, but I do think there are some strong submissions, so I'll try to keep it as unbiased as possible. However, it's not going to bleed that same type of conviction I have for the Arabesque skins. For the skins.com is the first marketplace for Westerners on Chinese CS2 skins. Purchase from an extensive list of items or insta-sell your skins and withdraw from a variety of methods, including bank transfer or crypto. For an insta-sell website, these are truly some of the best rates I've ever seen, and they are soon launching a peer-to-peer trading system to compete with some of the biggest players within the market. So why not get started now and get used to the website? Try out skins.com. Blues, the first one I have is the Zeus, A-N-E-S-G. Now, I think your Spy and Tech collection needs to have a fucking Zeus, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. And this one nails it. The pictures in the workshop show that it's like an homage to the Portal series, which I think is good, but it's not like explicitly on the gun itself, which I think Valve will love. I'll slot it in blue because it doesn't have that like purple feel almost, like it kind of looks like a blue, and it's also a fucking Zeus. Next I have the AUG Contractor. This could be a blue or a purple, to be honest, right? It's a really nice, futuristic, modern looking AUG, but it's not, you know, loud at all. It's very much, you know, minimalist, quiet skin, and it almost has the vibe of an autotronic gun, right? Because there's just some accents on it that look like carbon fiber or like mesh, right? So it's got that purple type of energy, type of vibe going, right? I'm not chasing it, but if I got it, I'm not too mad about it. And it's on an AUG, which, you know, we can only hope to get better in the future, or not. That gun is annoying. Next up, the M4A4 Hyperflux. This one kind of looks like a modern M4 Asimov, in my opinion. Clean lines, white and orange are the main colors. There's a little bit of purple there to, you know, give it a little bit of visual contrast. I think it would be a nice sticker canvas. I think it's a perfect little upgrade to the Asimov, a modern CS2 homage. But it's not trying to be the star of the collection by no means. I think it'd be perfect in purple. Could probably be a pink, but probably not. I would probably keep it in the purple tier. Kind of like the M4 Poly Soup from the graphic design collection. They also have an M4A1S version, which is very nice in its own right, but I think the M4A4 kind of fits the vibe a little bit better. Next up, we have the MAC-10 Bebop. This one's really well crafted and honestly could be a pink. I just don't know if the vibe that comes with this exact skin kind of lends itself towards like a serious Spy Tech one, which is why I'd lean it towards purple. But the MAC-10 is a highly used gun, so, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a pink, right? It looks like it's made out of cardboard, looks like a robot. I think like it has the vibe very well, perfect. I could definitely see this one being a very popular skin within the game if it was added. Now for the pinks, we have the M4A1S Disinformation. Now, I personally do not like this skin whatsoever. I think it looks fucking terrible. I could see a lot of dorks using this M4. Kind of has like a hacker, like, you know, loser aesthetic, like glitchy, corrupted data. And it was updated yesterday by the author, which makes me think, oh shit, this one might actually be added, unfortunately. I'd probably put it at a pink though. Like, I could see this, it's an M4A1S, like, you don't have to really worry about it fucking up your collection if no one likes it. It's an M4, put it in pink, it'll do fine. Another pink, right? One that kind of just pushes the boundaries a little bit, the P90 Recorder, right? The P90, no one uses this shit, but this one looks fantastic. It's a great idea for a skin. Yellow is an underused color in most skins anyway. You don't see a lot of yellow skins. It's a very much under submitted and underappreciated colorway within the game. So I'm glad that something like this was created, and I think Valve would be inclined to add something like this. And it could definitely be a pink, despite it being on the P90. That's how good I think the skin looks. Now we got two competitors here for the top spot in the Spy Tech collection for the red, because I do think there's a couple of different angles you can go from here. If the Arabesque collection we have a Glock, I think this one's gonna have to be an AK or an M4. Maybe an M4 because the AK already had to be the monster in the previous armory, so we'll have to wait and see, but here are my two biggest conviction plays for it. Option A, right here, is the M4A4 Super Intelligence. Right, this one's white with lime green accents, kind of like a reverse M4A4 Full Throttle, which I think is one of the most well-loved skins in the community. I personally really like it. I think no one else, I haven't heard anyone else like hate it, right? This one would match gloves effortlessly, not even lime green gloves like the Hedge Maze. I think because it's all white, has the lime green accents, it could pretty much fit any glove of your choosing. And I don't think a lot of skins with this colorway exist. I think it's fantastic. The next one is the AK-47 Weightless. Now this is like the AK version of the Full Throttle. And this one I feel like kind of fits way too perfectly. It has like the essence of a CS2 skin. It looks futuristic. It has like normal mapping to make it look like the gun is kind of hollow and weightless. And that illusion is sort of like something Valve has been going for with their guns and a lot of the skins added into the game. So I definitely could see this one being the red of the Spy Tech collection, more so than the previous one. And it's an AK. It's the AK version of the Full Throttle when I see it. And I think that's perfect for loadouts and shit. People love to build loadouts, and you wouldn't have to spend $30,000 on a hydroponic. you could buy this AK weightless instead. So that's why I lean towards the weightless for the red of the Spy and Tech collection, but I do hope that super intelligence gets a little bit of love as well, maybe a pink. Now, if this Spy and Tech collection does happen to be cash, this one needs to be added. It's the Glock 18 Hazardous Waste. Now, look at this fucking skin. As I was talking about with the P90, yellow is an underappreciated colorway when it comes to skins within CS, and this one is so awesome. It looks like a toxic barrel, right? That's a call out on cash. I don't even know where it was, but I remember toxic being a call out on cash. I think it's in mid, I'm not sure. Has like a liquid effect on the top, like, you know, part that you cock back before you shoot. Like this one needs to be added into the cash collection when it does come, at least, right? And since every Glock in the last 3 years has a fucking anime girl on it, maybe give us a fucking cool barrel Glock instead for once. Not everyone likes fucking anime, Valve. I like fucking cool nukes, monster trucks. So address me too. I'm part of the demographic as well. And now we'll get into the stickers. Now, the fruit and vegetable ones I'm just going to ignore because I think every single one was created by ChatGPT. I can't even lie. I don't even know which ones were created by a human or which ones were not. They all look pretty terrible, can't lie. So I'm just gonna skip those. You can look at those for yourself. Sorry if I hurt your feelings if you created a fruit sticker. Maybe use a better AI model next time. So we're gonna go straight to the auto racing one. Those ones are sick as fuck, all of them, to be honest. So let's get into those. First one, no brainer from Valve. This is called the Leakage Hollow, right? All the freaks of CS2 are gonna use this sticker to create some absolutely insane, degenerate crafts. Can't wait to see what they do. This one pretty much needs to be in the game. This one is a no scope sticker. It looks like the NOS logo, but it says no scope instead. Awesome. Belongs on every scope of every op in the game. Definitely can see this one being added as well. Next one's called Tribal. Sick as fuck, by the way. Looks like a Y2K poster for PS2. Also would fit on the full throttle M4 like crazy. I think this one looks perfect. It's like sort of like a craft sticker. You have to put it on the gun, which I think is more towards the vibe they're going with this collection, auto and racing, right? You're gonna have to put them together. So needless to say, this one should be in the game. This one would be a banger sticker and would fit on pretty much any gun in the game, right? Looks like molten metal. Imagine that shit on a fuel injector. The last one's an embroidered sticker. Now this embroidered sticker looks better than whatever the fuck Valve did for Budapest. It looks like just a racing patch. Awesome. Would fit on a lot of racing guns as well. Definitely fits the vibe. I think you definitely need an embroidered sticker, at least one, right? So I think this one would do the job perfectly. So those are my predictions, right? Those are not the coolest ones within the workshop. There's a bunch of cool ass submissions, right? And all of these ones are pretty fucking cool, right? I couldn't do any of these, but they know their place, right? People make blues for the purpose of being blues. Everyone's not trying to make coverts because you're not all going to be coverts. These ones make economic sense that Valve could realistically ship. So we'll see. Hopefully they come out tonight. Probably not. They'll probably come out 2 years from now. But if they do come out tonight, we'll see if I'm right. Or tomorrow. Or next year. Who the fuck knows? I'll see you in the next one. Peace.